Okay, May 1st again. This is Project 1964 5-horse Chrysler built Sea King. Alright, I've got the points all cleaned up. This is video number 3 on it. One thing I forgot to mention out is after you polish them up, use just a piece of paper or whatnot, just an old bag, and just run them through the points just to clean them up. Take any of the grit away. Now, these Chryslers, how you set these is you want this part of the points to be on the highest spot of the camshaft. And when it's on the highest spot of the camshaft, you're going to set the breaker point gap at 20 thousandths. So 0.020. And this one here is a little bit off. This one feels like it's about 18. So in order to correct that, what you do is you crack these two screws here, just loosen them up a little bit. And down here, there's a slide. And you could pry on the points just a little bit. Now I just barely crack them loose so I can leave tension on it. And I check it again with the feeler gauge. And you just want it to slip through. Just a little bit of tension on the feeler gauge. So that there feels good. So we'll go ahead and tighten up the screws again. And in order to get the cam lobe up to the right side with the spark plugs out, I'll just usually take the prop and I'll turn it with my foot to get the cam lobe up to its top, to the high side. So we'll take the feeler gauge and we'll check this side. And that one feels good. That feels like it's right about at 20 thousandths. So, since the points are clean and the points are set correctly, we should have spark. So what I'll do is I'll take the flywheel, line it up with the Woodruff key on the crankshaft. This is the Woodruff key right here. And you got the slot in the crankshaft that fits it. Line that up, set the flywheel back on, like so. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but I'll go ahead and turn the flywheel. You don't have to turn it real fast. And check for spark. I see one. I see the other. So now we have spark on both cylinders. So now this motor should technically put some gas in it. Since the compression's good and now we have spark, we should be able to put fuel in it and see if it runs. I put the flywheel rope shift back on. Put the flywheel nut back on. I don't use a torque wrench on most of this stuff. I've been doing this so long, I got a pretty good feel for it. So I'll just go ahead and tighten that up. That's probably about 45 or 50 foot-pounds of torque right there. Go ahead and I'll put the spark plugs back in it. This motor actually right now has J4J spark plugs in it. I prefer running a J6C in these motors. They seem to really like that spark plug for some reason. I think the original plug number was an H10 on these motors, but I find the J6C really runs good in them. So we'll go ahead and tighten up the spark plugs there. The spark plugs, now remember, the spark plugs do not need to be tight. They just need to be about 10 foot-pounds, 10, 12 foot-pounds. Just enough to seat the gasket on them. So that's all you really need to do is just seat that gasket. Sorry for the camera work here. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to just try a quick dry fire with